Welcome back to Scooter Bomb. Today we are upgrading the Prebug. We're going to try and make it a little bit faster. We're going to replace this Yasuni R with a C16. How much of a difference will the C16 really make? We're about to find out. So the plan is to upgrade this Prebug bit by bit and measure the results. So currently it's fitted with a pretty common combo: Stage6 70cc Mark II Pro cylinder, a Polini CP21 carby, a Polini oversized intake, a set of rear gears 1344, and that Yasuni R exhaust. Currently the bike goes pretty good, but I want more. So we're going to replace this with this.
So before we go out and test the C16, we've got to put the Yasuni R through its paces. So here we are. We're heading out to a spot that's long, flat and straight. We're going to do 1/8 mile, quarter mile. We're also going to measure things like RPM, temperatures. We're going to see when they engage, when they make power. That's what this is all about, to show the difference between the two pipes. It might help you decide which pipe is best for you. So we're in an industrial area. There should be no traffic, no cars, no people. But we've got to beat the rain. I just got a drop of rain on my visor. Wouldn't you bloody know it? Okay, here we are. Here's our road. Dead flat, dead straight. That's about 700 meters in front of us, which is what we need to get this done. Dragy set, bike's at temperature. Weight forward so we don't lift the wheel. Here we go. Okay, this feels like something. We're already past 70 on the clock anyway. We've hit 80. We're approaching 90 on the clock. I don't know where the 400 meter mark is, but we'll go through here and we'll hold it to here. All right. It felt pretty good. Pretty good. Temperatures are looking all right. But what was our RPM? So we hit 11,800 RPM in that quarter mile run. That's not too bad. But what will the C16 make?
Before we get to fitting the Yasuni C16, let's compare it to the Yasuni R. Now, side by side, you immediately notice that the C16 has a bolt-on header pipe that's separate to the main exhaust. This bolts to the cylinder, and the main part of the pipe has a slip joint that has springs for retainers, where the Yasuni R has a much simpler welded-on flange. From there, the C16 has a segmented pie-cut welded pipe that flattens out really early, whilst the R curves around and expands very gradually. From the cylinder to the main body of the expansion chamber, the C16 is considerably shorter comparatively to the R, but towards the back of the expansion chamber, the pipes are, in fact, identical. The C16 also comes with no restrictors, which is a nice touch. Alright team, I'm giving away a Scooter Bomb t-shirt to one lucky viewer. Now they look like this. Team Yamaha on the front, and Yamaha It's a Better Machine on the back. Now they either come in yellow or they come in black. All you got to do is decide which color you like better. So if you want to be in it to win it, is make sure that you've subscribed to the Scooter Bomb YouTube channel and leave a comment on the video while the competition is running. Now it closes in 2 more weeks. Alright, so each comment that you make is 1 entry. 1 comment gives you 1 entry, 2 comments gives you 2, 10 comments gives you 10 entries to win. It's that simple. Now the winner, doesn't matter wherever you are in the world, I am gonna post a t-shirt directly to you. The hardest decision you've got to make is, do you want it in yellow or do you want it in black? So help me get the Scooter Bomb YouTube channel growing. Let's try and get it to 2,000 subscribers. But in the meantime, let's see how this C16 performs.
Alright team, we have finally got this C16 up and running where it's not too bad. Now it's taken me quite a while to get this thing tuned so I can actually ride it like we are now. I gotta say, this C16, there's not much room for error. It's very finicky, and to be quite honest, it's still not 100% tuned. I've got the needle clip on the leaner setting and it's still rich. So that's on the needle. And it's causing me a fair bit of havoc. So I've got my fingers crossed that we're going to get through this test without blowing the engine, because I'll be honest with you, the needle's too rich, and I've had to take a little bit out of the main jet and a little bit out of the pilot jet just to get it to run. But anyway, we'll see how we go. So how's it ride? Well, I can tell you it's got a whole lot more punch than the Yasuni R. It really feels like this is the way the bike should have been right from the beginning. But again, that needle is causing me a fair bit of dramas. This thing's got heaps of power now, and I will be absolutely surprised if we don't see a massive difference in those times. It's actually a bit angry, wants to pull the front wheel all the time. Look, it's just cruising at the speeds that we were getting before. Like, this speed was flat out before, on the pipe, really giving it itself. I'm barely on the throttle, and we're doing this speed. Easy. Heaps better. Alright, we're ready to rock and roll. Now, like I said, I've got a few issues with the needle, and it's meaning I'm having to run it a little bit lean, for what I like anyway, at the top end. So I'll definitely do the 1/8 mile. I'm not too sure how I'll go doing the full 400 meters or the 1/4 mile, but let's get into it. Load it up. Let's just watch that temperature. Look, it's already past that 80 mark on the speedo. Let's just keep into it. It's almost at 100 on the speedo. Way quicker. Way quicker. Just trying to flood it with a bit of fuel at the moment to cool it down. So this is right on the needle, and you can hear it's not running well. In fact, if I go to pull away, I'll stop and pull away, watch what happens. I actually got past it. But anyway, let's see how many revs we had. Alright, so it's done, it says 11,800 RPM again. I don't necessarily believe that, but I guess it doesn't lie either. We had heaps more left in it as well. So we'll get back to the shed and we will compare the results between the Yasuni R and the Yasuni C16. You saw the Speedo. The Speedo had heaps more on it than it did before, so I'm expecting to see a big difference. So about that needle jet, look at this, flat out. See that hesitation? That is so rich on the needle, if I leave it there for any extended period of time, it starts to foul the plug, and then I've got to let it idle or let it rip to clear its throat. So I know there is a whole lot more left in this bike, but I need that needle bushing to lean it out a little bit more. And I reckon whatever times, whatever mile an hour that we just ran, I reckon I can do a whole lot better, hey? I actually get nervous riding in the outside lane or the middle lanes, because if I have to stop at a set of traffic lights like these ones, I'm not always sure if I can get going again. So I'm going to pull into this lane here, and I'm thinking this isn't going to get going from idling away. And I've got a car coming up my backside as well. And we just died. There you go. There you go, we just died. I fucking predicted it. Let's hope it starts. Lucky. That's exactly what I mean, because we were on the needle a little bit too long, fouled the plug, and I didn't like it. Anyway, I'm still pretty sure that we smashed the times that we got with the Yasuni R. Let's check it out.
So before we get to the results, let's talk a little bit about how the two pipes behave, because they are very, very different. The Yasuni C16 is so much more peakier, so much more angrier than the Yasuni R. The Yasuni R's power band is really progressive. You can ride it sensibly, you can cruise away at traffic lights quite easily. The C16, however, is not. You pull the throttle, and as long as it's on the pipe, it just takes off. The best way for me to describe it to you is with the Yasuni R, you're riding the scooter. With the C16, however, it feels like you're hooning the scooter all the time. And that's pretty good fun. So how do they stack up together in actual time and speed? So I'll put it all up on the screen. At any point, you can pause it to really take it in. All right, so what you see here is the screenshots directly from the Dragy app. Feel free to pause it if you wish, but I've kind of added it in a table just here that might be easier for you to compare it. So there you go. The results speak well and truly for themselves. Just know this was only a quarter-mile run. Over a longer distance, this bike would surely have reached 100 kilometers an hour or 62 mile an hour, given the fact that we had many, many more revs left in it. And here is a graph that compares them side by side. The bottom line shows time and the top dotted line shows speed. So what pipe would I recommend to you? Forget about the Yasuni R, put it in the bin. right? Seriously, the C16 is where it's at, and it's the pipe that should be matched with the Stage 6 Mark II Pro cylinder. So one thing I want to point out is this bike is fitted with the longer rear gears, which actually takes a little bit away from the acceleration down low, but it's still smashing with that kind of speed anyway. And the other thing to think about is I've got to really lean out that needle, because at the moment I'm compensating with leaning out the pilot and leaning out the main jet to try and make the needle as lean as possible and stop it from bogging. So there is heaps more to come, and not to mention I've got another awesome modification that's going to see even more speed come out of this Prebug, but you guys are just going to have to wait and see. Don't forget, leave a comment, like and subscribe for your chance to win one of the Scooter Bomb t-shirts, and I'll see you next time in the next video. Thanks for watching.